Okay, so I want to do a site plan real quick, show how to do that. I'm using an ultra wide monitor, so it doesn't present well for YouTube videos, but it does, I think the idea will pass along. So this is my standard template. I have my stacked walls over here on the side that I've already made that I would reuse. And then I have started to lay out a basement, a garage walls and a base wall between the house and the garage, and then the regular house wall. So I just need to modify that. I have my standard sections already set up with all my elevations for that, but I'll start with the site plan. That's what this quick demonstration is about. So the surveyor gave me the site plan, and I'm just simply going to go to the massing and site property lines, create by entering distance and bearings. And now we just simply put the distance in that the surveyor gave me, 198.59, 198.59 is the feet. And then the bearing is south and west. So I have to change this to south, and I have to change this to west. And then I just put the bearings in, which we go 89 space 08 space 28 space. And Revit changes that automatically to degrees, minutes, and seconds. I don't have to put those symbols in. I just put a space between the numbers. The next one, I will say insert and see what the surveyor gave me. It is 85 feet. So I'll put the distance in at 85. Oops. I'll put the distance in at 85. And then let's look at the bearing. It's northwest. I am northeast, so we'll change this one to west. And then I'll put the bearings in. It is 01 23 01. 01 space 23 space 01. Enter. So now I have my second one in there. Go over to the third. It's 153.5. Insert. 153.5 is the distance. And then it is northeast. North and east are good. I'll just put in my bearing. 89, 08, 28. 89 space 08 space 28. And oops, okay. And then put the space in there. So Revit gave me an error message, but now it's fine. 89, 08, 28. Insert again. I come down, and now I have 2 arcs. So I'm gonna move this one up to the top because it is a straight line, and it is 21.08. 21.08 feet. It is southeast. So I'll change this to south, and whoops, change this to north. I'm working on this one. Southeast, we said. Southeast. Okay, now the bearing is 12301. 1 space 23 space 01 space. And so Revit puts that in, and I'm going to say add a line to close and say okay. So there's my site plan. I know actually that should be, this line should be over here. So I'll edit that, edit the table, and I'm going to move this one all the way down to the bottom, and let's see how it looks. Nope, that still didn't work. I want to move this one down to the bottom, edit the table. I moved it down. So this is all good, but this guy, well, maybe it's upside down. So I put this line to close. So we'll say okay to that for right now. And I'll put my bearings in here. I'll annotate, and I want to tag. Let's see. I don't know. This one might do it. I don't want a material tag. No, let's go back to matching and site. No, I'll go back to annotate. I'm going to put in. Let's see. Tag by category. No that property line. Okay, so I click on this and there's no property line segment, so I'll say yes. And I can go up to, I think it's annotation, then civil, then property line tag, property line tag. So I think it's this one. Yes, it gives me the bearing and the distance. That's the one I want. So I'll say okay. And now I can click on these guys. Oh, I don't want a leader either. So I'll click on this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. So I'm going to zoom in real close. 153. No, this definitely goes down here. So I'm going to figure it out. So I want to edit this table. And what I did was I thought we were good here. So I'm going to cancel that and undo this. What I want is for this guy to be down here. So I'm going to edit the table. And I want this guy to be between these two numbers. So that's 78.56. So that is this one. And 150. So I want this guy, this 21 feet, to be between those two. So I will grab this one and move him up. So now he's between those two. I'll say, okay. That is exactly what I want it to do. I'm going to say that's fine. But let's kind of move these around a little bit. But now this is, I told, because there's two arcs here. I told Revit to simply to put a line in there that closes it. And then I'll go back in and figure out my arcs. But this guy over here. So that's good. I'm just looking at the site plan to make sure everything's fine. Yeah. Now these I have to change and modify because they're radiuses. And the surveyor did not give me. Often they will give me a table that will tell me what the bearing is of those two radiuses, and then what they've given me is the arc and the radius. I don't know what the best way to go about figuring this out is. So I'll stop it here, but that's basically the beginning of the layout. I know the bearings and the distances. Now, when I tag this, now I can go back and just take a look at these numbers relative to the survey numbers and just make sure I got everything right. But I have two arcs here. I have one arc that's going this way, and then I have another arc that's going this way to finish it off. And I don't see any information about that relative to being able to figure that out. I'm just, what I can do is insert the PDF and kind of trace it, I guess. It's the most accurate way to do that. All right, so I took the surveyor's PDF and inserted it into my model here. And then it's hard to see the site plan, but I can tell that, I can highlight it and we can see it. And then I just drew a line at the end of my site plan, and I'm going to click on the surveyor site plan and go up to the scale. And I'm going to click on And going to be close. And click on the end of that, and then the other end over here. And then I'm coming back to where I drew that line, which is the end of my survey. And that will make the surveyor's survey line up with mine. So now you can see that if we hover over my survey, there we go. It kind of lines up with the arc, with the engineer's survey. And now I can just trace these two arcs. That'll be as close as it can be. So annotate, detail line. I'm going to draw an arc, define it with 2 points. So here's 1 point. Here's the other point. And I'll try to eyeball it in there. That looks pretty good. And I'll draw another arc. Annotate, detail line. Annotate, detail line. Oh, that was analyzed. Maybe annotate, detail line. Another arc from this point to this point. And then I'll just try to eyeball it in there. Looks like it's snapping there pretty close. Okay, escape, escape. So it's not 100% perfect, but that's it. Now I will come down to the eyeglass and hide this element, and I'm good to go. So that's, but what I say, well, generally the surveyor will give me the line that would connect these 2 points, and then another line with the distance and bearing from here to here, from here to here, and then I could just do the same thing, but he did give me an arc here. So let's see. This radius is 60. The radius is 60 on each of them. So let's see what happens if I write 60. And then I change this guy to a radius of 60. Yeah, a little closer to accurate. Not perfect, but pretty close. So I'm going to save that. And that's the beginning of the layout for a house here. I know the property lines, then I'll put in the offsets for the building setbacks. And that's a quick tutorial or just a demonstration on how I do the topography. I hope that helps somebody someday.